Tennessee. Looks like a great little town. Yes, and in actuality it was. It's a beautiful little town. Set up there in the Tennessee mountains, about 25 miles from Boone. I really didn't know where to go and just happened to come across it. Lots of nice murals on the wall, and they were all over town. Just something I tried to show them here in still pictures, and maybe you get some kind of idea, but some great artists living there. And here's looks like a World War I howitzer, and plenty of old barns. That's what I like about riding to the country like that. There's just nice old barns with all kinds of advertising on them. And again, I like to use the regular DSLR, or actually in this case a mirrorless Sony, because it gets me a lot closer, like these horses out there grazing. Here I am, taking off again. And if you notice, the roads aren't too wide. I tried to pick all the back roads I could find, not necessarily dirt roads, but just back country roads. The weather, by the way, was very nice. It was like mid-70s, low 80s, but not much humidity. Lots of trailer parks. Not a rich area, but very nice. Well, it's rich in beauty. I had a blast going down these little narrow roads in what I call my baby GS. It's a small BMW, only 310cc, but it goes as fast as you need to go, and if you get stuck somewhere, it's easy to get it out. It carries all my camera equipment, and me, of course. Some more old barns, old houses. Friendly people. People waved at me when they were outside, and nobody looked at me in a bad way coming by on the bike. They just kind of looked at me and smiled. Lots of firewood here. I guess it does get pretty cold up here. And here we go. I stopped again, taking pictures. This pond, the boat sunk in the pond. More old barns. And this house, I don't know what it was all about, but it really stood out. I guess it's the guy that owns most of the property. Old junk shop, and the storage for the hay. Came across these old cars, didn't stop, but they've been around a while. Lots of little rivers or creeks, I guess you would call them. Again, you don't have to go to a resort area to really enjoy the countryside. If you just take a day and ride these back roads, you'll be well rewarded. This is outside of a lake. I don't remember which one it was, but it's a lake. Oh, here this horse was scratching its back. I should have had the video, but I guess you got an itch, you got an itch. I had to do this one in black and white. I just like the leading lines going down there. And of course one in the rear view mirror too. This was a dead-end road. Kind of scary, actually. I didn't know what was going on, but I ran out of the road. Nice thing about the little light bike, you can just turn it around and head the other way. Didn't know if some guy's gonna come out with a shotgun or what. I guess having turned into a dirt road probably should have told me something. Hey, how you gonna have a little bit of fun unless you explore, right? See the creek running down besides the road? I imagine they get a heavy storm, the road probably turns into a creek. Yeah, a guy out there cutting his grass waved on me on the way up. I bet he was wondering where I was going, since it was a dead end, but he was friendly enough anyway. It's just really nice buzzing along these curvy roads. Hardly any traffic. I didn't hardly meet anybody. This was Saturday. Here we go, we're pulling into a church. I'm gonna fly the throne a little bit, and I like churches, except on Sunday when they're pretty busy. You pretty much have the place to yourself the rest of the time, and nobody seems to mind. I had a few people come up occasionally, but as long as I tell them what I'm doing, they were fine with it. I guess who you're gonna spy on in a church, right? This again shows you some of the countryside around there. Just beautiful country. Great day too. Notice the clouds, just the perfect clouds out there, cumulus clouds. And you know, just sparsely enough populated. There's somebody everywhere, but there's nobody really crowded. Slowly coming back down to earth. Drone flew well. Hadn't flown it in a while. Had a little trouble charging it, but found out it was a bad cable and what didn't have anything to do with the drone. And here's yours truly, waiting for the drone to come back in. Trying to keep an eye up and still keep an eye on exactly what I'm doing. I usually hand catch that thing, and it was getting pretty close there. And here we go again, on the road again. Somewhere in Tennessee. Notice the map, GPS. So I was doing pretty good. I didn't really get lost anywhere, but I wasn't going anywhere in particular, so that's just the way it is. Right here I spotted something I wanted to take a picture of. So out comes the camera, bike still running, got my photograph, click click and all that. Put the camera back away. That's a nice thing about having a tank bag, and away we go. On the narrow roads again. I guess if there was a lot of traffic there, you'd be in trouble, but like I said, there's very little traffic there. And the roads were in really pretty good shape. Not excellent shape, but you notice there aren't even any lines or anything like that. Just kind of reminds me of some of the movies you see of England or Scotland or something like that, where they got a little narrow road going down. I guess you just have to be aware of what's coming. Way to go, left or right. Tried to stay as rural as I could. We weren't really too terribly far off the 421, but that's no fun, you know, such a well-traveled road and all that sort of thing. Little river next to the road. And here we go again, one last drone flight. I saw this truck on the other side of the field. By the way, if you notice the birds, they seem to attack the drone. I think they think it's some kind of predator, and they're keeping away from it. I mean, they try to keep it away from their nest or whatever, but they certainly don't like it. This time I was just on the side of the road, just stopping. Just love those rolling hills. Some of it kind of reminds me of Germany, to have these low rolling hills all over the place. Of course, the houses don't look like anything over there. I did luck out with the weather. It was just really nice. After I did the video, after I finished this little trip in Tennessee, I went back to Boone to the KOA campground where I'm staying and spending the night. And it actually got so cold I had to pull out my sleeping bag and put it over me. I was staying in the van to keep from freezing. We had a campfire going, and it was really pretty nice, sitting around and just solving some of the world's problems. Well, I'm glad you all got to ride along with me. I'm doing the Parkway, and that's for another series, but I took the Parkway back the next morning on Sunday, and that also was a nice ride. There's my little baby GS.